Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a very short May wrap up. I read 4 books in May, 3 of them were audiobooks and 1 was a physical book, and I think this is my life now that I have a full-time job, probably mostly reading audiobooks and not reading as many books in the month. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first book I finished this month was the only physical book I finished, which was I Who Have Never Known Men. I started this in my 24-hour reading vlog and I finished it in May, so I rated this 3.75 stars. I really did enjoy it. It was not necessarily what I was expecting. I am usually not a big fan of books that don't have chapters, and that was something that I probably didn't like about this one. I think for me, there's like a fine margin. I don't know if that's the right saying, but there's like a certain amount of chapter that I can read before I get like I'm just not liking it. My Year of Rest and Relaxation, I think that's the maximum length of a chapter I would want to read. This, I think there was 2 chapters in this whole book and it's almost 200 pages. So yeah, that's like my main criticism about this book. I feel like I understand why, because of, I think it's meant to be like a play on the main character's own writing style based on the life that she has lived. She is writing about what has happened to her, and she's someone that has been in this basement for the first, I think, like 15 years of her life, something like that. She doesn't remember her life before, and then she lives out her life there. So she's not necessarily literate or, educated in that manner. So I understand why the book is written like that, but at the same time, the wording and like the writing style is still very good, if that makes sense. So the only aspect of it that would make sense for that is the length of the chapters. But if that is the case and it was written that way for a reason, I do think that that is impressive, but I just don't particularly like that in a book. I also don't think there was enough going on in this book necessarily to have like definitive chapters, so maybe that's also why. But yeah, that's like my main criticism. It was kind of giving me 4-star feelings, to be honest. I just didn't love it, and I feel like sometimes with 4 stars they are books that I loved, but I just had something that I didn't particularly like about it. Whereas this one, I wouldn't say I loved it, but I did really enjoy it, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would when I started it. The beginning was a bit slow, but as we got into it, I started to like it. I think it's a really good book to read if you are a woman, just because there's definitely mentions of womanhood and the bonds that women make, and this is a dystopian sort of science fiction kind of world. You don't get answers in the end, but it's a dystopian world and you see how the women bond with each other to make life work in this dystopian world. So I like that aspect of it, and I think I would recommend it to any woman that likes to read. However, I do think that you need to be someone that is willing to push through maybe some more boring start to get through to the end. But I did really enjoy it, so I'd highly recommend this one. Then I listened to Great Big Beautiful Life, which was really exciting. This was in my reading new releases video, so you would have seen a lot of my thoughts in that one. I gave this 3.75 as well. In some ways, I think I did prefer I Who Have Never Known Men, so maybe that kind of gives a bit of a clue about how I feel about Great Big Beautiful Life. I'm very unsure on how I felt about it. As I said, I liked both aspects of the story, because you have the romance sort of side, and then you have the fiction, like a famous woman who's now telling her story side of it. I liked both of those things, but I feel like neither of them were developed enough for me to like attach to it and love it, and that's why it's 3.75. Yeah, I feel like it's such a weird one for me, because I don't feel like Emily Henry could have developed either story more, but I feel like that's what was needed for me to enjoy it more. And like, it couldn't have been 200 pages longer. That would have been ridiculous for a romance slash literary fiction book. But that's just kind of what I left feeling about that book. I did find the 2 main characters cute. I think their relationship was a bit more physical than I would have liked, but I did like them individually and I did like them together. I also liked the backstory and like the family aspect to the female main character and the male main character. But I will say the twist at the end didn't necessarily shock me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Great Big Beautiful Life. And then I listened to Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This was a book that I didn't even know was out, but I had heard of the Brooke Turner case. So as soon as I saw it, I think I saw it on TikTok, and it was about the case actually. And someone in the comments was like, "You should read Know My Name to hear the victim story." So I put Alone on Libby, and I finally got it last month, and I listened to it, and I really liked it. I don't rate memoir, non-fiction kind of books, but I did enjoy my time listening to it, which is kind of hard to say because obviously it's a very serious topic and a topic that probably most women can relate to in some aspect. I feel like we can all relate to some aspect of her story. She doesn't just talk about the case, she kind of talks about her upbringing and just how it made her feel in herself, how it made her feel in her family, how it made her feel in her relationship, because she was in a relationship and she still is in that relationship, I believe, and also how it's got her to where she is now. Obviously, she wrote this book and she narrated it as well, which is what I listened to, and she's gone on to do more stuff in that realm. And yeah, I would highly recommend that one as well. So I feel like I've had a month of like well recommended books that I would recommend on to other people. I would really recommend it. I think it was great to listen to it because obviously you're hearing it from her point of view. She also has a very unique voice, and I really like that about her story because I'm going to remember her story in her voice, which is so important. And I just think, yeah, I just really recommend it. I also just really love the title of the book. If you didn't know about the Brooke Turner case, she was kind of known as Jane Doe, I believe, throughout the case, and obviously when it first like kind of came out, because it was a big story in, I think it was Stanford University, and obviously the court case happened later on. She was Jane Doe, and now she's come out and she's wants people to know that she is Chanel Miller. She's not Jane Doe, and I really like that. And then the final book I listened to this month was Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. This was a very random book for me. I just saw that it was available on Libby, and I think it was like Bank Holiday Monday, and I was like, I just want to read today. And then I ended up just listening to this audiobook instead. I think it was only 7 hours, and I listened to it on 2 times speed. So I actually finished it in I think 2.5 hours, something like that, crazy. And I really enjoyed it. I was not expecting to love it because I didn't love Out on a Limb. I I could appreciate that book for what it was, but it just wasn't my taste in a book. And I think I gave that one three stars, maybe. This one I also gave 3.75 stars. So it's kind of crazy, bit of a crazy reading month. I've had one, obviously no rating, but I did really enjoy it, and then 3.75 stars. I do like how Hannah Bonham Young has like the characters have a strong backstory, and often it has like an emotional impact on you, and I really do enjoy that in books, and I definitely found it in this one. The like premise of the story is that the two main characters have to move in together in order for them both to be able to keep their siblings who are in the foster system basically, but in order to be able to be their guardians they need to live together because one of them has the money and one of them has the home. I thought it was really cute. I wouldn't say I loved either of the main characters. I did think they were cute and I did like the male main character's brother. He was funny and that storyline was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend that one. I feel like maybe that series is a bit less well loved, which is interesting to me because obviously I prefer it at the moment to the other one. But if you're just someone that likes romance, I would say you would like this book. Although I will say both main characters in Out on a Limb were more unique and more enjoyable than the main characters in Next of Kin. So yeah, just something to think about. But yeah, those are the 4 books I read in May. So not many books, but hopefully maybe I'll read a bit more in June. Who knows? I should read more in July because I'm going on holiday. So that's my hopes for the next couple of months. I'm hoping I will still post every month, but I'm not going to guarantee that just because I just haven't been able to read as much and I just don't have content to film. But I'm thinking of maybe doing a day in my life or a week in my life just kind of vlog in general, and then maybe include some of my reading in that, just to kind of show you my days. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's so short, but I would really recommend all 4 of these books. So I hope you guys can take something from this video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.